My name is Chris, and this is my multimodal presentation on video game literacy. Traditionally, literacy, or being literate, has referred to reading and/or writing text. Of the 5 definitions Merriam-Webster's online dictionary gives for literacy, only one is unrelated to education or writing. 2C, having knowledge or competence, e.g. computer literate. The British Columbia government website's definition is broader, saying of literacy that it is essentially about decoding information, events, and situations, so we can succeed and prosper. On video game literacy specifically, I turned to YouTube, where the academic/gaming community has discussed video game literacy in some detail, especially as it pertains to education. Extra Credits, a weekly show on the industry as a whole, asked in a 2017 episode what it meant to be able to read in the medium of games. They offered options of being able to play a game at all, at the basic level, to having the ability to play a game from start to finish, completing it like you might a book, at the advanced level. They went on to suggest that literacy might sometimes mean the former, and other times mean the latter. Personally, I would consider literacy a continuum from the basic to the advanced, where the former is mere interaction and the latter is a fluency in explanation and analysis. I would also emphasize that literacy applies to almost anything, not only reading and writing. For this video, I required internet literacy to find and download games, game literacy to set up and record the Minecraft world, and video editing literacy to put together this presentation. However, where traditionally literacy is known to involve reading and writing, it is harder to know what gaming literacy might entail. As a starting point, it might be helpful to think in terms of traditional literacy and go from there. For gaming, this quote-unquote writing is done via a mouse and keyboard, a controller, or a touchscreen. Even voice-activated games have been released which have allowed us to interact with levels by varying the volume of their speech. Reading in this medium comes in various forms. Basic literacy requires comprehension of the user interface, or UI, to understand information about the character being controlled. In Skyrim, the top of the screen shows a compass for directions to nearby points of interest. The player's health meter in red and stamina meter in green are only shown when being used, their absence conveying that those bars are full. Button prompts also appear on screen when an action requires a specific input, such as to open a door. Like Minecraft, Stardew Valley displays items in boxes along the bottom of the screen corresponding to the number keys on a keyboard. The item currently being used is highlighted in red. For inexperienced players, a journal is used to track objectives and instructions. A more advanced form of literacy is the ability to read level design, instinctively understanding the upcoming challenges or the correct direction to travel, even in an unfamiliar game or genre. In Journey, the player is guided continually by the distant image of a mountain, which camera angles and soaring melodies imply as the destination. In The Last of Us, the player is directed by use of a lit bedroom to spark curiosity, or a lit pathway to draw the panicked player to the correct path. Portal uses level design to wordlessly explain the portal mechanics, allowing the player to see the room they're in from a first-person and third-person view simultaneously. As a result of designers being inspired by each other, and occasionally as an in-joke to fans of a particular genre or title, many games have ended up containing similar sections which have come to be known as tropes. One such trope is that waterfalls in video games regularly conceal rooms and/or treasure, which is worth collecting. This trope is more than 20 years old, appears in games for all demographics, and can be found in games of varying genres. Next time you pass a waterfall in a video game, maybe think about taking a closer look. Unlike the majority of my own literacies, game literacy is mostly taught by the medium where it is used, with failure rewarded rather than punished in the long term. Although there are ways to learn from players on YouTube or Twitch, physical and digital walkthrough guides, and conspicuous tutorial sections in many games, the easiest way to figure out most games is to try numerous approaches until one of them succeeds. In the classroom, widespread video game literacy would allow games to become a tool for teaching almost anything, from physics and astronomy to history and culture, and from literature and writing to music and languages. Even mental health awareness can be broached with a 2-minute non-game about pixels. And now, thanks to websites like Kahoot, even topics without a game already available can be turned into a fun quiz for any classroom with access to a handful of devices.